a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell. You and me were meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free. You and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever
We are
free.
live. Yes, 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 yes. We are live. We are live. We are live. Yes, yeah, I feel good.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to October conference. You conference. This is all about you, not about people, not about others' opinion, but you, and all about you. Me welcome our first speaker for today. Yeah. All right. So this is Afito.
But thank you so
You're
much for having
welcome.
me. Thank you so much for having me. I
Good to
first,
have
when
you.
it's nice to have connections. Like, you don't, especially the way the world is right now. Every one of our connection is happening online. Whether you
Yes.
are, whatever your status is in life, married, non-married, single, mother, single father, you have to have some kind of connection. And this past
Yes.
year has
Yes.
come together and build people together, bring people together from all part of the world. It's amazing. It's fabulous. So I think that whatever we do, we have to do it with the intention. So throughout my life, I call my I don't wake up to Jesus moment, my journey, from programming to begin again. That's how I call my transition. Because not only that I have to not only that I have to move like from different part of the world, 4 different times in the last 14 years of my life, in the first 14 years of my life, but I have to adjust. And we're not just talking about small adjustment. We're talking about language barrier. We're talking about lack of community. We're talking about lack of friendship. We're talking about long-term friendship. We're talking about
Mm.
different criteria that actually make me at some point I say, look, I have to stop this circle of feeling sad for myself, feeling bad for myself, feeling sorry, doubt, worry, anxiety. I have to stop that. But anyway, so this is where my journey begins. A 14-year-old moving from West Africa, a very cool fish, West Africa, fish continental, west part of Africa. And at first I was born into a family that has a military background. And the house, you can imagine, was a strict house. Like, you got to follow the rule. I was raised being very strict, as someone being brought up in a military background. It has that. And then I didn't choose to live with my mom. I didn't choose to live with my immediate family. I had to live with my stepmom. So that actually contributes to a lot of how I show up later in life. And then I have to be misplaced again because the riots started in my West Africa country. It's the government versus the civilians. So I have to be misplaced again, migrate again at such a tender age where I need to start learning or building, setting roots and stuff like that. I have to move again to another part, a remote part of of the village, live there for
Wow.
a couple months, and then I had to be moved again to another part of in another country. Now I'm
Wow.
seeking refugees, and then I have to be moved again then to the amazing United States of it all, to start for all because of a simple need, for
Oh.
human needs, security, safety, you know. And so that is the toll of where the roots of it all, where my story begins. Because
Wow.
I said earlier, my story is about my transformation is about programming and from programming to begin again. And I'm not saying programming has, I have a mad science behind me, pulling my string like, yeah, it must be his. Like, I'm talking about our village. I'm talking about tribes. I'm talking about moms and dad, our parents. When we're little tender ages, we look up to, for our parents, how can we, the foundation of life. We look up at how we can come up in the world. These are our first learners, right? We pick up social cues. We pick up way we can, treating people better. We pick up those different things from a tender age. But at what point do we start questioning whether what we pick to set up for life, at what point we question, are those really of true values? Are those really or are those more of a limitation beliefs, right? So that's when I started working on myself, because at this point I have this few things going on. I have a poverty mindset because I was raised in a very underdeveloped country. Life is good, but getting the first, food to eat was hard, And I have that poverty mindset, scarcity mindset, limited mindset. I have social anxiety, and I think sometimes it's due to the fact I was raised in a house that was really strict, and everything I do has been watched and being not everything is tolerable, which is fine. And I think that there are some point that we have to stop blaming our external factors. That was what my wake up moment for me. Because if you are a 20-year-old plus woman and you're still blaming your parents for whatever, for where they brought you up, I mean, I have to ask you a question. We have to talk,
Yeah.
because our parents, they did what they could. It's not a tool. Personal growth, personal development, self growth, whatever. It's not a tool that they can just go to, teach themselves. Those are the limited tools that they have. They did the best they could. It's up to us to not let those external factors determine our future, determine our present, even, right? So at this point, I'm talking about I have a low self-esteem, low confidence, because then again, I already moved 4 times. I'm like, is this going to be temporarily? Is this my new home? How am I even going to create a community of people that I trust that are going to be in my circle for a long period of time? Because guess what? I didn't have that growing up. So these are all questions that actually placed me in a very interesting position, because it showed up when I was in what we call high school here, finishing high school, because then again, I was told that I need to finish high school. My parents telling me this, and it showed up in my college years. I was told you have to go to school, get your degree, get a job, like like you should, and then again, parents keep programming me. And then I was told that after school, I need to have, do the regular stuff like normal people, get married, have kids. It's just that. That's just the way life had been, And then I said, okay, great. But I would still have a self-conscious of, is this going to be long-term? Like, I always do things minimal. When I was in high school, I didn't participate in a lot of external activity because I feel like, what's the point? I'm not even going to stay here for too long anyway. When I got in college, there were so many opportunities that I could browsing my horizon with. But no, I was very limited because I don't see that I'm able to, do anything beyond the minimum, right? Because then I still have all these doubts and worry behind my back, like behind my mind. And then I got into the real world, professional work, and then I have the fear of showing up for myself, fear of being heard, fear of being listened to. So I stay in the back. The one thing that actually, changed all that for me, that big aha moment, was my last year in college. One of my professors had a book, Carol Dweck book on mindset of psychology. And I'm like, okay, what is this? I was talking to her. I'm like, what does this book mean? And she's trying to explain to me. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I'm like, whatever. So I kind of dismiss her. But then in the last 10 years after college, went to professional, I stuck in a entry-level position for 5 years. At that same time, I had an eye surgery because I have an issue with my eye. And then it hit me like I was feeling so sorry for myself. Like I felt the guilt that I should have been better. I should have been doing better things in the world. I should have been big person of some sort. I should be out there making better impact. But here I am feeling sorry for myself, feeling like I'm not worthy, feeling like I'm worthless, feeling like nobody is gonna listen to my message. Nobody cares about what you have to say. Nobody cares. That thought will mess you up mentally, you know? And these are, and then I'll think back, oh, it's my mom's fault, it's
Yes.
my dad's fault, it's my parents' fault, it's my family's fault, it's my tribe fault, it's my village. People that are grooming me to become this adult, it's their fault for, you know, because they were more of the people that are controlling the narrative. But I am now 29 years old. What's my reason now? Like
Woo,
I'm a grown woman.
woo,
What's my
woo, woo.
reason now? What is my reason?
Mhm.
You know?
Nothing.
So wake up
Nothing.
moment. And I recall having to go to my public library, checking out the book on mindset. Carol Dweck, who's a phenomenal when it comes to growth and you know, fixed mindset. But I'm like, how would people know this? Like, if they don't know they could actually improve, how would you know? And especially having like an immigrant and a refugee mindset is like nothing is permanent. It is never gonna
Yeah.
be permanent because anything could
Mm-hmm.
happen and
Yes.
it could switch like that, right? So how would you know you need to improve yourself mentally? So that's where your confidence will shine. How do you know this? Like, how do people know this? Do people even know this thing exists? So I seek out the educational aspect of mindset, and I read through this book, and I'm like, wow, okay, now everything that I ever believed, everything that I ever told, all those are my own inner voice, all those are my own inner thoughts.
Mm.
Okay,
Yes.
because nobody is actually pulling my strength anymore to tell you, you know, this is the direction of your life. I'm all in control now. That was the first realization moment. Okay, and then my friend, my good best friends, like, okay, Fido, there's gonna be this women empowerment, you know, training in Missouri, like in here, one of the states. Let's go. I'm like, what do you mean women empowerment training? Like, we actually get to empower others to live their lives better. Like, what do you mean? So she's like, no, it's gonna be great. It's like 2-3 weeks, you know, training, and we went. We got a shiny certificate. I'm like, then what am I gonna do with this? You know, what am I gonna do with this piece of shiny certificate? And then I am, and then I'm going through the doubts, the limiting beliefs, all these, you know, scenario in my head. Like, look, Afito, either you're gonna tackle this down and drop everything you ever, all the excuses, self-doubt,
Mm-hmm.
like, or you can continue living the life because of the way other had implemented these ideas that you have to live your life by. So I'm like, okay, I took that certificate and then I build on from there. And then I'm like, okay, we act, we think. Our thoughts create our reaction and how we feel about things coming from our thoughts. Like, there has to be a root for each inner thought in our head. There has to be a root cause why we think that we can do things, why we think that we're incapable. There has to be a root cause of it all. And that root cause is, guess what? Mindset. It's all about mindset. It's about how you
Yes.
perceive the things that were done to you. This is the actual thing, how you take what was done to you. It's all about mindset. And then the mindset is everything we do is like 90% mindset, 1% like, you know, educational piece of it, or like step two, you know? And I was okay, so mindset. So I started doing research. And then Albert Ellis, you know, one of the psychologists that actually read a whole thing about, you know, REBT, you know, rational, emotive, behavioral techniques. I mean, therapy, but I call the educational piece because I just teach this. I'm not specializing. I call it technique. Came up, and I'm like, oh, so you mean to tell me I have the ability to retrain my thoughts and, you know, rethink things through, and before I can actually react? So that way, that reaction will create more of a positive outcome? Is that what you're telling me? All right, sign me on. So I got that, and I got the, you know, I was training that for like a whole 3 months process. That was amazing because that actually changed the aspect of how I see things, how I was using my upbringing as a shield that to prevent me from moving through life or being exceeding through things that I know I can do, or giving me that comfort to things that I know I can do, right? So that is why I call my journey programming to come back, because I was programmed. We all are. As a kid, we were growing up. When we were growing up, we don't have a lot of say. And then you begin again, because I was refugee that had to begin again my life. I have to settle. I have to not settle, but I have to like establish my own line of you know, defense. with through friends, to college, to networking, to anybody that can bring me a little piece of growth. Okay, so I then tackle, because unfortunately in university they don't teach you anything about personal growth. They don't teach you anything about mindset and stuff like that. So what I did was I self-taught these things, and then I hire a coach to help me through some of the limited beliefs and those negative thoughts that creeps in my mind, like just come like you can't do it, the wait for it, and that really helped, because one of the steps that I was actually advised is thinking about the outcome, establishing an outcome, right? When you're going through a transition, life transition, you have to establish an outcome. What is it that you're looking for? What is it that you're expecting? My outcome in life is, even if I help one people change the roots of how they're thinking, if it helps them in later in life, that is all I care for. That is all I am here for. Because most of our mental health starts from not, it's a stuff from the little things like, mental health such as depression, worry, anxiety. Those start from the roots of someone causing us something, or the idea that we think somebody is at fault of how we showed up, And then there's also a saying that, the confidence we build on through life, we were all born with confidence, right? We all have it in us. But something has happened, like Benita was saying earlier, society had someone prevent us from, dimming our light, by dimming our light, through it all. So we have to establish that. And if I can reach out to more people, say, look, you are in control. You are so much control than you realize. But the root is that you have to change your mindset. You have to, I'm a very proactive person. I'm practical. Like, I can spew all this positive reinforcement, positive, empowerment mindset out there. But if you're not believing that you actually can do it, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it, So after all that, my tools in my pocket that I always recommend when I will do my training here and there is that, do you want to have someone to guide you through the process, or do you want to have someone to, tell you what to do and you're able to do it on your own time? Because we all have, one of the excuses for not learning and improvement is what? Family, relationship, some kind of something that's always on our way. So that's why when I started my empowerment practice, I geared to creating courses. I want to create those courses that you don't have any more reasons to not learn the things that you need to learn to make you better. No reason, because you can do these courses on your own time, 10 to 15 minutes each day. There's no more reason that you can train yourself, for the better things that you want in life. And I would quote one of my favorite motivational speaker, Les Brown: if you don't program yourself, life will program you, pretty much. Yeah. And it comes from, and that is one of those things that I always go with, because it is true. Think about that. Think about that for a minute, because we go through a lot of excuses of why we shouldn't do certain things, why we shouldn't move these areas, why we shouldn't go after this job, why we shouldn't have this hard conversation, why the relationship we stuck ourselves in. There's always that why. But at some point, you have to come back from that. You have to. Because if you don't, your why is always going to be there. And there's not going to be anyone that's going to be holding your hand like you have, act for you. So that's why the two practical development that I do, this mindset, because mindset is the strategy. The strategy all start with our mind, and the confidence piece is the action. Having the confidence to take an act of certain things, anything that can improve yourself. That's still confidence. That's where confidence is super important when it comes to the personal development area of what you can do today to improve your life for tomorrow. And the last note here, I wanted to see my time here, and also if anybody is going through that process of redefining yourself, finding yourself, or how do you even know you need to redefine or find yourself? How do you even know you have a growth mindset, fixed mindset, or you need some kind of mind rebrain or mind retrain? How do you know? I'll give you this. If you are in a relationship or if you are in at a profession that you have doubt, any also doubt that creeping your mind, that means there's time to shift
Okay.
anything, right? And I have a little quick tool there called RAS. It's RAS. Is restart, assess, and stop. Okay,
Okay.
RAS. So that means that that means that you can really focus on what is it that you want to improve. What is the root cause of what you're going through. If you are like, if you have a big family or if you have a small family and you continue to having hard conversations with them, you can be one thing for other and be another for other. So it's too much to juggle, If you are in a relationship or your family dynamics that just don't understand what you're going through, maybe it is time to have that hard conversation. It is time to have that hard conversation with them. Sit them down and go through your thoughts. Why are you seeking this? What do you think the outcome is going to be? And once you assess that, then you can assess that, and then you can move forward and get what you really need and get the tools that you really need. Because we have so many tools out there that could actually help you. And if it all fails, you can always get a mentor, get a coach. And if it all fails, you can always get some kind of support and network. You could get trainers that could actually help you deal with that from the root cause of your issue. So that is that's my living life on my terms deal for the day. Thank you so much.
Wow.
Great outdoors, forever free. Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance you can tell